Coming into the game, I felt like for me, three important things were ball security, transition defense, and rebounding. And, I didn't anticipate them making 13 threes. Credit to them. I thought, for the most part, we took pretty good care of the ball. We only had 11 turnovers, and I think 4 of those were probably offensive fouls in the post that are dead ball turnovers, so probably maybe 7. I did think early on offensive rebounding was a problem, and it was our guards. I felt like their guards were just quicker to the ball. They were making plays off the glass, giving them extra possessions. We kind of got that a little bit under control. Defensive transition, we did okay, but the biggest issues were, I thought, the ball screen defense. We weren't consistent hedging, and then our guards were getting caught checking the roll man and having to do both and get out. And we were late getting out there majority of the day. And so they had, I thought, just pretty easy catch and shoot threes. They made a couple dribble threes, but the most of them were just throw back behind the ball screen. And O'Connell, we couldn't get him under control off the ball screen, and he had 13 assists because our point of attack was not good defensively. And when you give up we gave up 85 points to a team that averages, I think, 66 here in league play, you're just not going to win. And now, with that being said, we took a 5-point lead with, maybe 8 to go, and then we gave up 3 threes in a row. I think it was one was we doubled the post on Styles, had him, and then he just somehow throws it to the baseline. We don't get the ball. They kick it out to O'Connell for 3. We go down and shoot a quick 3. They come down, and now we got defensive transition issues, matchups, and our 5-man's on Taylor. He shoots a step back 3. We come down, get an offensive foul, go to timeout, come out, they make a 3. To me, that was the game for us. So credit to them. We didn't. I don't think Styles ever failed us the entire game defensively. We had a lot of freshmen come in. Credit to him. He averages 3 points a game. I think he had 24. I've seen him play. He's a good player, but I thought he was just too comfortable. And so, this is what happens when you're. I just didn't feel the sense of urgency, and I don't know why. I obviously did a poor job, getting them ready to play because I didn't feel that sense of urgency early in the game. That we needed, that I don't want to say desperation, but what it takes to win on the road, which we've done. We just didn't have it. So that's on me. Questions?
Steve, you had 25 points in the first 15 possessions of the second half.
Yeah.
And then right in that was where the offense just
It did.
Did it lose its rhythm or flow or what?
I might have to go back and watch. I think a lot of it had to do with the way we defended. We didn't get no stops. And so then we're coming down, putting all this pressure on us to make plays offensively. I don't know, Connor. I usually can remember a lot of things, but I have to see it to really, did we execute? I thought sometimes we were driving the ball looking to get fouled instead of playing through contact, and in that run there were some physical plays at the rim that we didn't finish. I can remember one with, I think Hunter went in to dunk it. I think he turned it over in transition. I want to say Juke went in there once or twice. He missed 2 free throws. We went to the line 32 times. Well, 34 times. Made 27 of them. But I think it, to me, is just more of a defensive problem than an offensive problem. But I'll have to go back and watch.
Steve, you mentioned the defense. It's the second time in 3 games that the last sort of 8-ish minutes, the defense kind of couldn't find a way to stop.
Yeah.
Is that fatigue? Is it just guys not doing their jobs?
I can't blame fatigue when we've had a week off. I can't. That's not executing. Whatever it is that we're doing. We played some zone, we played some man, but ultimately, you have to do the things you have to do to win the game, the standards that make you a good team, and that is guarding the ball. and staying between your man and the basket and boxing out and rebounding. And those basic kind of fundamental things, I thought we didn't do a good job. And, you know, we're good when we guard the ball. We're good when we're in the gaps. We're good when we're hedging the ball screen. We're good when we're warring the handoffs. We're good when we're reading or doubling the post. And we're just very inconsistent in those areas. And, you know, sometimes in basketball, you let your offense dictate how you play defense. And we just haven't had that mentality all year long. Maybe, you know, maybe it was some of that. I personally, that's not an excuse to me. We know who we are. We know how we hang our hat. We got 2 weeks left in the season, right? So the whole thing should have been, no matter what happens on offense, we got to go down and get stops, and we did not do it. I just don't think they felt uncomfortable for the majority of the day.
Coach, did circumstances change, or did you come into the day anticipating to play Parker less?
No, I mean, I just think it's just a matter of, you know, the game. So not really. No.
Steve, you were talking about sense of urgency. How do you balance this time of year when everyone on the outside's talking about the bubble
Yeah.
and sharing that with your team? And how do you feel today changes your margin for error?
Oh, well, you know, I can't control what they hear outside of practice or the practice facility. It's not brought up amongst our team. Our biggest thing out in front of us is winning the next game in front of us and getting the double bye in the ACC tournament. It's not anything to do with the NCAA tournament. If you take care of those things, then you know, at some point those things can take care of itself. So you can't get ahead of it. I have no idea about the other question. I couldn't tell you. Don't really know. And at this point, it's just counterproductive for me to even think about that or talk about it because it changes every day. I heard, I laughed. I called Greenberg the other Seth. I wasn't watching, but I guess somebody said that we were out. You know, we were back out of the tournament maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and we hadn't played. And Seth said, "Well, I guess they had a bad practice." I thought that was pretty funny. It doesn't really matter till Selection Sunday. You know, we can banter back and forth about what, you know, 3-letter metric that you are good or not good in. We have to play the next game. And so I think they've done a pretty good job of that. Again, not today, but we've improved on the road this year. You know, last year I think we won 1 road game in the league. You know, we got 6 right now, and we got a chance at another one. And so, you know, the hard part for teams like us in our league is that it's the home games opportunities. You know how many home quad 1 games I've had in the league in 4 years? 5.
5 years.
4 Duke, 1 Virginia. I talked to my friend Chris Jans the other day at Mississippi State. He's got 8 league quad 1 games this year. We've had 5 before, years. And so it forces you to have to go on the road and really play well. And it's, you know, it's hard. And look, we have 6 wins on the road. Not one of them is quad 1. That's it. Think about it. We got 3 quad 3 wins on the road in the ACC. And we have 2 quad 2s and 1 quad 1. And really today, if we would have beat them bad, they probably would have went to a 3 because they're right on the cut line of a 2 for us. And so that's why it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's just like stay the course, you know, got 19 wins, got 11 wins in the league. Get ready to play against Virginia on Wednesday. That's just how we got to look at it.
I know he's a local kid, but McNeil, obviously, everybody was surprised he started. How shocked were you? And then how hard is it on a scout when you don't really know this kid's going to get all his minutes?
Well, I've seen Paul play a lot, you know, because he's a North Carolina kid. I know he can really score. You know, I've seen him play in state tournaments, and you prepare for, but you prepare for 8 guys or 9 guys. You know what I mean? And when you do scout, I didn't have him in there as a starter, obviously, but you make adjustments. I thought that we just didn't make him I feel like, and he got better today and putting it on the floor. We didn't do great on that, but you gotta make him bounce it. And he got his feet set, he's gonna score. And he made a couple tough ones, Dante's, they're good players. I mean, when they make dribble twos and dribble threes, those are hard shots, I was more concerned with just the comfortable, wide open in rhythm shots, but credit to him, to Paul, to stepping up in a big game, and making tough shots, making timely shots. It sounds like to me the crowd likes him, and that's cool, and that's like our crowd likes Duke Harris, because he's from right down the road. I think it's great when, local North Carolina kids stay home and play good. Good for him.
Steve, you talk about the next game mentality and how the metrics kind of are all over the place, but it's felt like the last couple of years, there's always kind of just a blip kind of towards the end of the season, what's kind of getting over that hump?
Well, I don't. We just keep winning. Was this a quad 2 loss? Okay, we got one quad 3 loss. All right. I mean, yeah, it's not. We want to win, but when you're first of all, if you're in position like we are every year, you've got a pretty good team. Okay, and so this is why I don't spend the time with the team talking about this stuff, because you can. What do you want to look at? What part do you want to look at to tear us apart or help us? I mean, you can say, well, our strength of record is 30, our KPI is something in 30, our wins above the bubble, but then you go back and say our strength of schedule non-conference is in the 40s, but then you say, well, your KenPom, your BPI, and your heart rate, whatever, is what, so I'm not getting into that. The next thing is Virginia, and then it'll be Notre Dame, and then it'll be Duke, and then it'll be Georgia Tech, and then we'll figure it out. But it doesn't matter right now.
Steve, you talked about the lack of sense of urgency to start the game. They started
Yeah.
11-0. Did you have any sense that would happen going through the week?
I wasn't real happy with practice on Thursday and Friday. I didn't lose my mind, but I told them in this manner that I'm talking to you, look, it's not who we are. It's not where we need to be right now going into a game like this. I don't think, by no means did we overlook them or anything like that. I just didn't feel that grit. Like, I felt it Saturday at SMU, even though when they got down, we got down there too, but we came back. We did today too. I just didn't feel like we ever got dialed in the half court defensively. I've seen our guys defend like that. I just felt like we were behind the play a lot. And then we're playing catch up or fouling or giving up offensive rebounds or wide open threes. So that's on me. I got to go back and look at it, figure it out. And I can only think of one other team we played this year, and they made some threes. They did a really good job of throwing back against the ball screen quickly, and that was Boston College in the very first game. They banged us for 12 too. But really, those two, them and NC State, are really the only two teams all year long that really kind of hurt us in that like that for the entire game.